Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban has put smiles on the faces of millions of Indians by giving roof over their heads. 113 lakh houses have been sanctioned so far. In today's episode of PMAYU podcast, Shri Durga Shankar Mishra, Secretary, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, shares with us the journey of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban and interventions undertaken to make it a success. Today, the mission is the largest urban housing scheme of India. Let's listen to him and know more about Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban.
Sir, coming to housing, sir, what we understand that there was this shift in the developmental philosophy from housing to few to housing for all. So this strategic change must have required a deep thinking. The Honorable Prime Minister has taken consistent and a very extraordinary interest in this scheme, sir. How has he inspired the journey of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, sir, and how has his vision become something actionable for this ministry?
Amrit, I think whenever I think of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, the first image which comes that of our Honorable Prime Minister. It is his vision. I don't think anybody could have ever thought of providing housing for all. But he had that kind of a guts, the vision and the commitment that he will be able to get the people of India, not only in the urban area, even in the rural area, a pakka house with water, with gas, with electricity, with toilet for every families. We do not have a house or do have a inadequate house or a dilapidated kind of a house. Think of it. In 2014, when he said this from the ramparts of the Red Fort in his Independence Day speech, and this ministry was tasked to do that. It was just looking impossible. Nowhere on the earth, no countries in the world has so far attempted something like this. And this became further difficult when we had the first preliminary estimates from the states, and which came to 1 crore. The largest program earlier to this has been that of the JNNURM, where the total number of houses sanctioned were only 13.5 lakhs. And out of that, only 8.5 lakhs could be completed in 10 years. Only 8 lakhs houses could have been given. And here was a preliminary estimate of 1 crore, and there was absolutely clear mandate that we have to achieve this. How could you do that? Yes, I compliment the then Honorable Minister for Urban Development, who is currently our Honorable Vice President of India, Sri Venkaiah Naidu ji. Under his great leadership, the ministry worked and we prepared a bouquet of projects. It was not one kind, it was a multiple kind. Something which will suit different kind of population. What I mean by that? Large number of population is living in their own house, but the house is in dilapidated condition. It is inadequate. They are living in small places. It is not adequate for their family. So we came out with a beneficiary-led construction. So they can redo it or expand it or go vertical or go horizontal. So this was called beneficiary-led construction. The second, the public or the private agencies have got land. They can also construct, but there are no buyers. Why? Because the poor men, you see 2011, we had a expert committee in the planning commission, and they estimated the total gap to be nearly 1.8 crores. And the numbers, 96% of that was only for economically weaker section and the lower income group, 54% and 42%. So 96% is this EWS and LIG. How can they afford it? So that was a big challenge. So the affordable housing and partnership was structured in a way that the government of India gives 1.5 lakhs. The states were not mandated any number, but they were encouraged to contribute anything they wanted to. So some states contribute 1 lakh, some contribute 3 lakhs, some contribute 2 lakhs, some contribute 50,000 depending on their exchequer, their financial muscles. The third was large number of our population living in the slum areas. then how can we monetize the slum? Because slum, there is a sprawl, there is a kind of a non-vertical growth. So can we utilize the land which have been captured by these slums to cross-subsidize construction of housing and also give some kind of assistance by the central government, which was 1 lakh. And the last thing, there are people who would not like to construct houses, but they would like to buy houses. And the large number of such stocks of houses were available, which have been constructed by either the public bodies or the private bodies. Can they be assisted? So there comes the credit linked subsidy scheme. That is directly through the bank. You can take the loan from the house, and that house, while you are paying back your liabilities in terms of EMI, can the EMI be subsidized? Yes. It was done for the economically weaker section and the lower income group people. And later, Honorable Prime Minister in December 2016, he announced that even the middle income group people with a population up to 18 lakhs, they could also be included. So this bouquet, and then whole of the government approach, it was not like my ministry. It was a whole of a government approach. Ministry of Finance comes with various kinds of reforms. Other ministries also help us so that this vision of the Honorable Prime Minister could be made possible. And I think the way it has been structured, the way it has been planned, today I can say with full confidence, it is coming up. We have already delivered more than 50 lakhs houses. We have already sanctioned more than 113 lakhs houses. We have already grounded more than 85 lakhs houses. And this is a huge achievement. We are into the new technologies. We are into the new kinds of doing business, and all these things to make possible that this housing could be made possible. And I think this is one. Then Honorable Prime Minister, from time to time, he had been asking, guiding, directing us to take various steps, and I think every time he has guided and given his vision, it has made a big difference. It has added to boost our progress.
Sir, back in 2017, when you took charge over as secretary of this ministry, sir, today as you speak, we've crossed 113 lakhs, so you just shared. What are the specific policy tools in terms of project monitoring? What are the uses of various kinds of technologies and the monitoring mechanisms that you adopted to be able to realize this mandate? Because I vaguely remember that we were tottering at somewhere around 17 lakh was the progress, or perhaps maybe around 20 lakhs. So to come up this far, to take the states along with the use of technology, what monitoring tools, how do you look at the reasons why it has become the kind of success it did?
Rightly said. So Amrit, I think when I took over as secretary in 2017 June, things were not looking so good, looking far more challenging than it is looking today. But I found my team was motivated and they wanted to deliver. And we had the direct guidance coming from the Honorable Prime Minister. In the very first review through Pragati, he asked me, can we use this opportunity to get the best technology from the globe? And we did it through Global Housing Technology Challenge. In the next review, he asked about the credit linked subsidy scheme, if you remember. He asked that people are having he was reviewing the grievances, and there were plenty of complaints about the credit linked subsidy scheme. And we came out with CLAP. We used the technology. As a additional secretary, I think I saw that in very initial years when the Honorable Prime Minister had taken one of the meetings in Gyan Bhavan, he wanted to use the space technologies. That was the direction given. I was the additional secretary in the same ministry in the urban development. At that time, when the Honorable Prime Minister, I heard him that why can't we use this space technology for getting our schemes implemented on the ground. And I took that so seriously. If you remember, in 2017, use of technology in the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana was hardly anything. But one thing I have used very, very intensely is the use of technology. Now we can have every houses under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. This is geotagged. complete information. I can go to each and every house, and not only the money is going to through the DBT, direct benefit transfer, but I can see the progress on the ground. We had to take the states with us, and then when we started moving, we found the states were also wanted to deliver. And with the use of technology, if they see progress, you see, always, I mean, when you don't achieve, there is a demotivation. But when you start achieving, it becomes excitement. And through the technology, we got the states to see how they can move so fast and how they can compete with each other. In fact, we developed some kind of a healthy competition. I mean, recently we have issued a 100-day challenge. Why? Our earlier challenges has shown such a good result, and it is through the IT we are able to capture each and every detail. We are able to get into the to the nitty and gritty of things. So I think technology has been of a great assistance to me in pushing this program. Even through the banks, I mean, I can chase each and every application right from the day it has been applied to the day the money has been transferred. Where it is lying, why it is lying, for what period it is lying. So then even the banker feels that the secretary of this ministry is going to catch you. Then I find that's a great assistance. So I found overall my team in the field, and let me compliment the state governments, let me compliment the municipal bodies, let me compliment the our partners, other stakeholders, even NAREDCO and CREDAI. They have been of a great assistance. In fact, they have helped me in moving the program in a big way. They have created the kind of a ecosystem in which we have moved very fast. They are all partners in this. So this, the whole thing has been working so well. That's how we are in a very comfortable position today. You see the ease of doing business in construction permits. Our rank was 186. Not very far in 2016. Today our rank is 27th, and it's not a joke. It requires hard work, but the kind of joy I get in achieving this, I mean 159 places of jump for the country, it's a great pride. And I can see that that has come because of the kind of motivation we get from the Honorable Prime Minister, that we have to bring this country on the map of ease of doing business. Anybody can come and do it very simply. And with this, the kind of confidence we got, today some 2,535 cities have got this online building permission system. That's a huge order, and we are very confident, say in another 5-6 months, 100% of the cities, right now 19 states, 100% of the cities are on online building permission system, and this is going to be 100% in next 5 to 6 months. So I can see the whole ecosystem, the way it has been working. It has been a great help to me. Even my Honorable Minister, whether it has been Sri Venkaiah Naidu, the Honorable Vice President of India, whether it has been Sri Narendra Singh Tomar, who had been there for a short while, I mean, he was in charge of my ministry, and the present Minister, Sri Hardeep Singh Puri, all of them had been of a great assistance. I mean, they have been great motivator, and they've been helping me to achieve this vision of the Honorable Prime Minister on the ground. So let me also compliment them for this.
Thank you, sir. Sir, looking at the mandate and the vast demands the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana generated, obviously, sir, this kind of a scheme coming from a 13 lakh progress to about 113 lakhs to be done requires a huge arrangement in terms of financial availability and the wherewithals. We understand that the overall size of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana is close to or perhaps even higher than 7.5 lakh crore. Obviously, sir, apart from budgetary resources, we need a lot of other areas to work upon to be able to fulfill the requirements of the mission. That's one. Also, sir, how are we then using technology to also take the progress forward in terms of civil side of the engineering capacity? So these are two interlinked questions regarding the funding as well as use of technology in PMAY.
Well, as far as the finance is concerned, the scheme has been structured in such a fantastic manner that it encourages, because house is a dream for every citizen. Everybody would like, because housing is a great insurance for anybody. So they would like to, because I have traveled far and wide across the country, from north to south, east to west, almost all the states I have been, and various cities I have traveled. I find people invest their life, whatever life saving, or they get a lot of money from outside. So this has been structured in such a way that it has motivated them to bring their money. States, I mean, it brings, there is so much of equity to the states, the political equity to the states when they achieve this. Because whenever I travel to the states, I keep meeting honorable chief ministers, and I find that all of them have a very, very positive feeling about the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. They were always proud to share that what they have done, the kind of they have allowed the assistance, state assistance in that. Third, there was a, I mean, like there was a requirement, the funds requirement, and we went to the cabinet. We created National Urban Housing Fund as an extra budgetary resource, and I've got a complete support from the Finance Ministry. So far, we have already drawn 53,000 crore. The fourth, I also find that, I mean, I met with the then Honorable Finance Minister, Honorable Sri Arun Jaitley Sahab, who is no more. Requested him, sir, if he could give from the priority sector lending backlogs, the money which is lying with the RBI, if that money can be given as for diluting the interest burden on our poor affordable housing beneficiaries. And he agreed. We got 10,000 crore in the first budget, I mean, he announced in 2016-17, and from there onward, we have been getting like 10,000 crore to the National Housing Bank. That reduces the interest burden to those who take loan for the affordable housing. Also, I think this is, since the whole thing comes from the Honorable Prime Minister, there has not been a budget so far where there has not been some kind of a fiscal announcement. There is a reduction in the GST, or reduction in the income tax, or reduction in various kinds of incentives, so that affordable housing is promoted. And all these things added together, we never had a problem. I mean, there have been some problem during the pandemic. I mean, naturally so, the whole economy world over has been impacted, so have been us. But again, we are back, and we are going ahead. On the capacity building front, in fact, we have used technology in a big way. The whole Pathshala of housing, whether it is the housing technology or whether it is the housing techniques, or I mean, sharing, because the country is like a big garden which has got all kinds of flowers, all kinds of species, where one can learn from the other, and we create a kind of environment when there has been cross learning for across the country, and that has helped a lot in pushing this. Our field labor workers have been of a great assistance that the states have employed. I mean, that is a part of the our Pradhan Mantri Awas structuring. They have also, I mean, the people who have got the background from MBA or engineering or such background, and they have really, I mean, when I find them in the field, they are so excited to show me what they have done, how they have made it much more beautiful place. It's not only a house, it's a dream. It's a place where they can realize their aspirations. So that's the kind of a positive vibrations I get when I visit these houses, and not only from those who are living in, but those who have made this possible. That's our workers. So it's all together. I mean, this is working very positively, and I think this is for a great cause. It's a bringing the new India.
Sir, it's a very diverse country that we live in, and we have a different political discourse, dispensation, and it may at times become challenging to get projects executed. What has been the experience and the role of the various state governments in taking the PMAY vehicle in their own states, and how has the ministry been able to get that maximum effort from the states?
Well, at the outset, let me say that every state has been positive on the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. When it comes to the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, they want to deliver. But definitely, there is a capacity gap. There is a financial resources are of different kinds. There are challenges and there are priorities. So there have been some ups and downs, like some states have been doing very well at some point, then it started not doing well so much later because of there's been some changes in the government, or they have been not been doing well, they started doing well later. So there have been some ups and downs, but overall I can say that there have been a very positive feeling for the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. I mean, when I talk about my own state of Uttar Pradesh, which is my cadre, prior to 2017, there were only, I think, 18,000 houses which were sanctioned. I come from Uttar Pradesh. My mission director Amrita Vijat comes from Uttar Pradesh. Both of us have been trying. The minister at the minister level we have been writing, but still there was no progress. But comes the new government post 2017. Now we have got 13 lakhs houses sanctioned, and the most important, more than 8 lakhs houses have been completed and delivered. That's a huge progress. So this shows the moment there is a commitment of the government, there is going to be a big difference to this kind of a scheme, which makes so much of big difference to the people. So I can say that, I mean, then some states the progress has not been good because of their financial condition. They could not afford so much on this because they have already invested on other schemes. Whenever I meet the concerned Honorable Chief Minister, I always request him that since this is going to touch the lives of the people who are, I mean, to have an inclusive society, the very first need is the living need. Your dwelling, your habitat, that's the most important. So if they can invest here, maybe possibly they will start contributing more to the economy.